But I had seen people are lying on the streets for a long period. Maggots, worms, infected, mental patients, AIDS patients, TB patients. People are not taking these patients. It gave me a much pain. Immediately, I had called our people staff. We are starting a hospital.
Too many times as entrepreneurs ignore what's happening in the political world because we don't want to get dragged down into the mess. But more today than ever before, we need to have a voice. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind. I started Lurn exactly for this reason. So starting today with Freedom Friday, let me be your voice. What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? Welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday. This is your favorite person in the whole wide world, Anik, Singal, here today with, and I say this with absolute just surety, okay? I say this with complete assurance. I have today a guest that is one of the best people I've ever met in the world. He has just done some of the most amazing things. It has been such an honor. And today I want to tell his story. I want to tell his organization's story. And it's just something that makes us all realize we can do so much more in this world if we set our mind to it. So without further ado, I want to help introduce and welcome Pastor Philip. And I'll give you a little background story on Pastor Philip and how I met Pastor Philip. So as many of you may or may not know, I met my wife in Mumbai, India, when I had an office out there. She used to actually work for my company. That's how we met. But shortly thereafter, I had actually left India. I had shut down the operation there, but of course had kept in touch with Andrea, my now wife. And in that time, she had found this organization that was on the outskirts of Mumbai, India, almost an hour and a half away in a very rural area. And the organization's name was SEAL. And she had fallen in love with this organization. And she used to go there to teach the children English. And she would go there to help however she could. And every week I would hear her talk about this organization. And I got very intrigued by what they were doing. So the first chance I had when I had revisited and gone back to India, I asked if I could see this place and if I could go to see what was happening, because amazing things were happening. Lives were being saved. Children were being cared for. The elderly were being cared for. And what was amazing, it was all happening from what I call just faith. None of it made sense. None of it made logical sense to me. You know, I'm a numbers person. I'm a business person. 2 + 2 = 4. If you want to build something, you have to raise money for it. You have to have a business plan for it. You have to know the answers before you go forward. That's what I've always thought. That's what I've always been trained. And it wasn't until I met this gentleman today that you're about to meet, Pastor Philip, that it turned all of those thoughts and ideas upside down. So it is such a great honor to have you on with us today. Pastor Philip, thank you so much for taking time to be here. I don't even know where to start. Please tell us a little bit right now. First of all, how are you? I know that in Mumbai, especially where you are, there's a major lockdown. People are hurting, and you care for those in need. You care for the poor, and they are getting hurt the most right now. How are you? How are things over there?
Yeah, things are great with us at the moment. In our campus, at the moment, 274 patients. And altogether some 300 people in our campus.
Wow.
So as you all are knowing that the lockdown and other issues are going on, but our place is a little bit quite away from the city, a little bit outskirts of the city, so that, we are already isolated situation. So that is a situation. And SEAL is a rescue home, rescuing people from the streets of Mumbai. That's our work. So can I speak about what is?
Yes, please. And before you do, I want everyone to understand, SEAL is it's hard to explain what they do, but they literally rescue people who've been abandoned. They rescue children, they rescue the elderly. And now what Pastor Philip has done, in addition to the ashram he had built, he's built an entire hospital for people that a hospital that will serve the entire village. But yes, please, Pastor Philip, tell the story. What does SEAL do? How did you start it? Take it away, sir.
Some 20 years back, I happened to be in this city for a small visit. But I had seen people are lying on the streets for a long period. My God, maggots, worms, infected, mental patients, AIDS patients, TB patients. People are not taking these patients or attending these patients. Nobody cares for these people. It gave me a much pain. So that, I was so worried about how I can help these people. Then I had spoken to a lot of people. All said it's not possible, especially we all are knowing that Mumbai houses are small and we cannot accommodate more people over there. And then I got a chance to study a small para-professional social work course in a university nearby. So at that time, I have rented a room in Mumbra, we call that near to Thane. And into that house, I brought one man from the street, and I was not knowing much about this person. But on the 12th day, I could reunite this man to their respective house back. Oh, it was a wonderful time. That is the joy of reunification. And the relatives came and asked me, "Oh, Father, how you're doing it?" I said, "Because the love of God, I am doing it." And I too was not knowing how we can do it all these things. But later I came to know that if somebody is missing, and it is a wonderful opportunity to send them back to their respective family, that is the joy of reunification. Likewise, we have started this work. Still, after completion of my study, I thought I can go back to my native place. I can do something over there as a pastor or something different way I can do over there. But daily, the people I am seeing that once I heard that one boy was deserted in a red light area. His mother is a prostitute and she does not want this boy. I just went over there to check this boy, and I brought him to my room and tested his blood and all. And after 1 week, I came to know that this boy is HIV positive. You know that 20 years back, the stigma was very vehement. And I started to knock many doors of other orphanages, other rescue homes. They said, "We are not looking after boy or children like this." At that time, this child was only 9 months old. And all said no. Then I was forced to look after this boy. That became SEAL Ashram. That is the beginning of this work.
That's so amazing. So basically, you found a child whose mother did not want him. He was HIV positive. No one else would take him because 20 years ago, the stigma was so bad. People thought that just by caring for this boy that they would, and that stigma continued. I mean, that's what's built your organization. And so that was where SEAL began, because instead of abandoning the child, you decided to embrace the child. Now, Pastor Philip, you've gone on to adopt legally many children like this boy. Can you tell us how many children have you now brought in that have been abandoned by the world?
See, right now we are having some 40 children with us. All these children are missing children. There is no question of adoption. This is all are missing children. All these children are being brought by Mumbai police, because yet to be reunited back to their parents, wherever they may be. So likewise, the children grown up, and last 20 years, many children got married, and now 2 girls back home over in our ashram for their delivery. So the due date is nearby these days. But many children we could reunite back to their families. Our sole aim is to the missing people to be returned back to their families. So far, we have reunited 400 people to their families all over India. And nearly some 400 people breathed their last in our ashram. Those who were in the last stage, they were supposed to die as stray dogs. And now it is 270 plus people right now. This is a situation.
Wow. So 40 plus children that are there right now, and Pastor, they're legally adopted by you, these 40 children? How do they get to stay there? Is there a legal process for that, or it's an ashram and they get to just stay there?
See, we are a registered organization, first of all. And our work is rescue work. So that not necessary of any kind of adopting a child. Okay. But we are obtaining legal purpose from the police department. Okay. And one more other thing is that majority of our patients and people are being brought by police, all Mumbai police. So it is one of the last resort for the police department.
How many children have you had come through SEAL in the last 20 years, would you guess?
More than 75 children.
Wow. More than 75 children. Yeah. And you said even 400 people that you've helped unite back to their families. And if anyone is wondering, because if you're listening to this outside of Mumbai, you might be wondering, how did these people get lost? And what happens in Mumbai is you have so many people all over India that sometimes the elderly, they wander off. They have some kind of mental illness or they have some condition, and they genuinely get lost at the train stations and they forget where they're supposed to go. They forget where their home is. It's not so easy to find people in India as it would be in a Western world or as it would be in the United States. And also, unfortunately, sometimes people are abandoned by their families. They're left and then people run away because they can't care for them. They don't want to care for them. And that's where SEAL steps in. So, Pastor, last time we met, I got a chance to walk around the ashram. It's a beautiful place. It's, you've built all this amazing housing for children, for adults. How do you, and then you went off and you told me this 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember, but we met almost first time about 10 years ago. And I remember sitting with you in the same office you're in right now. And you told me, we're going to build this hospital. And as soon as you said that, I thought to myself, a hospital? I mean, wow, that's going to be expensive. And I just started asking you questions about how you would fund it. But let's leave the hospital topic for a moment. How have you paid? Because this place, this physical location, the food, medication, education, clothing, I mean, you are raising hundreds of people. Right now, you said you have over 200 people there. How do you pay for this? How does the money come for this?
See, first of all, when I had a notion or a vision about a work like this, I took a decision in my life that I will never knock any doors. And God should knock my door. It was a decision and my resolution. Since the very beginning of this work, I had never gone to any place to ask a single penny from a single person. But daily bread, we call it. Daily, each and every day, whatever we need, God was providing. Even for food, I never starved. 20 years, we never starved for a food. Every day, some or the other way, it reaches safely. But I do not know tomorrow who is going to bring the food. I do not know who is coming next day. But everything were intact thus far. This is a big reality.
That's amazing. And I think that's what I've really taken away. And that's why I call this episode, faith over money, because this is the exact answer you gave me when I asked you the first time. And I just couldn't understand it. I just couldn't, fathom it. And to me, and then you said, we're going to build a hospital. And, I think millions of dollars instantly. I think building a hospital, building the just the supplies, the equipment. And so I said, well, how are you going to do that? And you said, God will provide. It'll happen in its own time. And just for everyone listening, if you go back to my episode, if you go to anikpodcast.com and you listen to one of the first few episodes, it was in the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth episode. So Pastor, you don't even know this. Right when I had started this podcast, we had come back to visit you at SEAL. And I had seen that you had put the whole infrastructure up. The hospital was up. There was actually a physical, I walked through it. We went floor by floor. We walked up. I was in such awe. I was in such awe with what you were able to create. that I actually did a whole podcast episode speaking about it, where I talked about how much more we need faith in our life and the ability to believe and not always have a plan. And so you've put that facility up and you've done it every single month without knowing when the next money would come. You know, when the next, you told me this, I asked you, I said, how do you put it up? You said, one brick at a time. As we get money for one brick, we put the brick up and we stack it and we build a hospital. So I just want everyone listening to really take away. I also want to take a minute to tell everybody who's listening, if you'd like to contribute to what SEAL is doing, they're saving lives, they're helping reunite families, they're taking care of those who maybe are just, the chance of reuniting is no longer possible, right? But they're giving them a dignified life, a place to live the rest of their life. They're taking these children who they've brought off the street and they're marrying them. They're actually going out and literally caring for them as if they're their own children. And now they've built a hospital that'll be free for usage of the entire village around them to help save lives. If you want to give to that cause, please go to singal.org, SINGAL.org, and go ahead and just select the cause, put in how much ever you can, and we will personally make sure that your funds get over to Pastor Philip. So, Pastor, tell me about the hospital. Let's talk about this hospital that you have now built. We're close, from what I can tell. You're very close. Where did this idea come from? Why did you decide you wanted to build a hospital?
Some years back, we have brought one patient to our ashram. So while we were cleaning that lady, her skull was full of worms, maggots.
Wow.
Oh my God, like rice, bowls of rice. It is coming out. So immediately we cleaned her and we tried our level best to take her back to the hospital. Usually we do not have a hospital facility. So only thing is that, when we clean a patient and we will make them presentable to a doctor. Otherwise, no hospitals will admit a patients whom we take. That is the specialty of our every patient.
Wow.
So while we were rushing on the way, this lady breathed her last. She died. So on that day, I took a decision that, my God, we need a hospital. Without that, this program cannot move further. On that day onwards, I started to cry and pray. And one day, one lady came to SEAL Ashram, our place, and she gave me 75,000 rupees to me. And she asked me to, Pastor, do something for the children. I said, by this 75,000 rupees, what I can do for the children? I can give 2-3 times good food. Then still she said, do something for the children. Okay. I took a decision. Okay, I'll do something. Immediately, I have taken a blank paper. I had drawn some points and some pictures like for the hospital. Immediately, I had called our people staff. We are starting a hospital. So by that 75,000 rupees, we started the hospital some 10 years back.
Amazing. Just so everyone understands, 75,000 rupees in today's conversion is about $1,000 USD. Maybe back then it was $1,300 USD. So this hospital started how long ago now? 10, 11? How many years?
Yeah, 10, 11 years. Almost.
10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And since then, it's taken that long to build, but since then, how have you raised funds for the hospital? Like, it's just again, letting people give whenever they give?
God raised. I did not raise.
Yeah, I love that.
I did not raise because when I have no much connection outside, that's the situation of SEAL Ashram. But we were fully involved in the work because, this many people, they cannot wash themselves, they cannot control themselves, they cannot feed themselves. We have to do everything for the people. We have less staff too, because we have to pay to each and everybody. So that, with maximum time, we are spending time with the people. But the rest of the time, we are also working along with this hospital construction and other constructions. That's the situation. So that, I did not raise a single penny. God raised.
Yeah, no, that it's truly amazing, and the patience that you've shown to just chug along and do this one step at a time, knowing that the eventual goal will happen, is so amazing. For those of you listening, if you want to see pictures of the hospital and where it's come so far, you can go to singal.org. We will make sure to get them updated. It's beautiful. I mean, the inside of the hospital, I just saw pictures, Pastor, just a few days ago. The inside, my jaw was on the ground. It looked like a 5-star facility. I could not believe that this would be a hospital that's going to be free for everybody. That's another thing I want everyone to know. Free treatments. There will be no cost. And it's open to the whole village. It's not just for people staying at SEAL. It takes a big heart to make that able to happen. And it's, to talk about faith, Pastor, it's interesting. Last time I came to see you a few years ago, and I saw this building, and I just, it was quite a faith moment for me. It was a great training moment for me. And I just couldn't get over it. Even when we were leaving, I kept thinking, how has he raised the money for this? Like, there has to be some plan. Like, like this building is up now. And as I'm saying this, Andrea's on the phone with someone from SEAL asking, what's the next thing that you need? Right? What is the next budget? What is the next thing? And we found out it was, I think, electrical or plumbing, and there was some extra, And immediately, next thing we're deciding within an hour of that is that, okay, our nonprofit Singal Foundation will go ahead and cover that cost. We're going to send, whatever is needed. And I remember sitting back and thinking, oh my God, there you go. It works, right? Pastor had faith. He's doing the project. And here, through the guidance of God, here we showed up and provided. So the takeaway for everyone watching, and I know this is Freedom Friday, and usually sometimes we can get very political and government on these episodes, but today I want to take a complete stark differentiation, and I want to say, I dare you to think about, where are you in your faith if you're listening to this? Do you believe so strongly? Can you match Pastor's faith? That what you want out of your life, that what you will do, you will achieve, right? That it will be provided, that it will happen. And you can just march forward without having to worry always about a plan. That's my takeaway, is not having to always worry about a plan. Pastor, tell me a little bit about your staff. How many people work? I've met them. They're amazing people. Do they live on site? Are they volunteers? Do they come and go? Tell me a little bit about the people that help you run SEAL.
We have some 18 staff with us, and certain people are staying outside, but majority of our people are staying inside, because 24 hours attention is essential for our people. That's what majority should stay inside. But these are some 18 people are working with us relentlessly.
Yeah. I mean, and they devote their life to it. Pastor, are they compensated? Is it a volunteer position? Because they're making a big sacrifice in their life also.
But we pay to everybody. Some certain people are really volunteering. Majority of the people are being salaried, and they are being paid.
Yeah. But still a big commitment. And I've met them. They're amazing. They commit their life to the cause. Pastor, I want to ask you about a specific person. I've met her a few times. I found her she's just such a fun person. She used to cook. She was cooking the food for everybody. She got married, I think.
Urmila,
yes. How is she doing?
She's a defendant girl. She had a big problem with the family, and she ran away. And she was with us for 6-7 years, and later she has got married. She was a wonderful girl with us. Her cooking style, you are knowing her
yes,
well.
Yes.
And even Andrea knows very well. Yeah. And she was a wonderful girl. Now they are staying in Delhi along with her husband and his child.
And a child.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. I met her. She had quite the life. She had quite a very rough past, and she came to SEAL, and she loved SEAL so much she wouldn't leave. So even they tried to reunite her with their family. She said, no, I'm staying here. But now she's married. She's living in Delhi. She has a kid. And that, to me, that story just is it just exemplifies what you're doing every day. And I wish there were more of you in this world that were doing this, because this is what we need. What about that boy, the first boy? How is he doing? The one that the SEAL started with?
Yeah, Reuben. His name is the first son, Reuben. He's with us. Now he's 21 years old and is health-wise very good. And he's helping me in the office. And he's all around with us. That is he. It's good.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now he's helping with SEAL. How amazing is that?
Yes, he's with me in the office and helping us. Yeah.
That's so powerful. What right now, Pastor, how can people help? How can people support what you're doing? What's your next vision? Where is your faith taking us now?
If it in a simple way, if I say, we have some 13 acres of land in this place. And Mumbai is a big hub. The whole India comes to Mumbai. From each and every nook and corners, trains are to Mumbai. People are rushing and running towards Mumbai. Majority of this is one of the biggest or largest cities in the world. One of the Mumbai city. So destitution and missing and people from different parts of the states are coming to this place. And lakhs of people are lying on the streets in lakhs. So such kind of people whom we are taking, very less organizations are taking care of such kind of people. So we need more places, more rooms. And we need more rooms, more staff to look after these people. Later we can send them back to their families. Reunification is the final goal of the SEAL Ashram, reunification.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, more of what we're currently doing. Right now, there is a lockdown, and a lot of people outside of the Western world probably don't realize what countries like India are going through. And it's troubling. I mean, I watch the news every day. I watch Indian news every day to see that, especially those who are the workers, those who come away from the villages, who come to the cities to get jobs, and are now on lockdown. They can't leave the cities. They don't have homes to live in. They don't have any money. They're hungry, and they're not getting help from the government. Or let's say the government is helping, but there's so many people. How do you help? It's a big mess, and it's scary. It really is. I mean, they don't know where to go, and they can't just walk across or take a bus home. Buses aren't riding. Trains are stopped. They don't have money for tickets. And so right now, I saw a picture, Pastor, of a I think it was a picture of a bus with the COVID-19 written across it. It was a SEAL bus. What are you doing right now to help in this situation?
See, 2-3 areas SEAL is intervening. That our nearby areas, people are starving. No food, no finance, nothing is coming from. Even government has got a lot of limitations to help the populace. So in the Gulf, SEAL is standing. So we are distributing food items, grocery to different houses. We are directly going to the houses, especially people other institutions cannot reach in such a way because the isolation and the social distancing, all these are very much essential. But exponentially, it is growing like the situation. So that, SEAL goes to every house, especially the tribal areas. As you are knowing that today we have made a survey that Tawarwadi, it's a peak of a mountain, that is called Tawarwadi. So we have visited that. Even moving to that place itself is a big issue. So we are planning today, right now, while we are talking itself, Pastor Biju has gone for the distribution with a big group of people, our team. So every day, hundreds of bags of groceries and other essential items are being distributed. So this is a present situation, and the people are in such a grave need.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Amazing. Again, continue to say amazing the work you're doing. So for everyone watching, listening, if you want to see some pictures, what we've done, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, if you go to YouTube and watch the video version of it, we've put some B-roll and we've put some pictures of course, all the work that they do at SEAL. So you can see all of that there. Okay. Of course, please, we invite you to open your hearts and give to the various projects that are happening at SEAL. Just go to singal.org, SINGAL.org. That's our Singal Foundation, my wife and I's foundation, and donate anything you'd like. 100% of it goes to SEAL. There's no administrative expenses. We just take exactly what you give. And we even cover the transaction fees ourselves. So 100% of what you give will go to the cause of helping them build more rooms, build more places for people who are left to be able to live. It'll provide money for their reunification funds so that they can go out there and find the families of these who are lost. It'll help provide money for the food, for the care, for the shelter, for the clothing, for the medication. It'll help provide money for the hospital that is being built. That's so close to done, so close to opening its doors. Probably here, God willing, just next, another month or two. And I feel like we'll be able to get things going. And then, of course, last but not least, if you'd like to provide food, groceries, and just so you know how dire the situation is for some of these people, they truly have no groceries, no food. They are boiling vegetables and drinking the water to extend the life of that vegetable. It's that bad in some of the areas that SEAL is serving. So please go to singal.org and give with an open heart to the cause. Pastor, thank you so much for giving us your time today, for being here. What an amazing story, amazing work you're doing. You always have our support from Andrea and myself. Please, anytime, any day, we can do anything to help you or support you. You know to reach out. And now, hopefully, our fighting entrepreneur community will wrap themselves around this as well, and we'll all support your great work and see SEAL continue to grow and just have God's blessings. Any last words, Pastor?
Yes. It's my respect and honor to talk to you in this hour, and your family, especially Andrea had a long-term relation with SEAL, and after your marriage, you're also married to SEAL, and that was a big relationship. And last many years in your capacity, you are helping SEAL like anything. And we have a good brother and sister in our lives, both of you. Thank you for your all initiative and introducing SEAL to others too, and for the glory of God. God be with you all.
Thank you so much, Pastor. All right, everyone. I expect everyone here in this community to support this, to help this propel forward. Go to singal.org and do the donation. Also, we will post in the show notes and everything, the website. You can also go to google.com and type in SEAL Ashram. All right, SEAL Ashram, Mumbai, exactly. And it'll be the first website. We'll put it in our show notes as well for you. If you're watching the YouTube video, you should be seeing the URL to SEAL's website right on the video right there. Please go support, tell the world, tell other people so that we can continue to support this amazing work. It's been an honor today, Pastor. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you to all of you for listening. This is Anik Singal reminding you, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. I'll see you on the next episode. And listen, fighting entrepreneurs, go out and fight for your dreams. There's never an excuse or reason not to. Look at what Pastor has done. We can all do amazing things. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.